Look around you. The world is collapsing in slow motion. Values have turned into currency. Truth has been replaced by narrative. Morality no longer guides man. Algorithms do. What used to be society has become a marketplace. People turned into brands. Pain became content. And the soul? Just a statistic. Cation. You might not have realized it, but every day, something is being taken from you. Your stability, your clarity, your humanity. And the worst part is that it's happening in silence, disguised as progress. Like a fever consuming you from within, only noticed when it's already too late. We no longer live in community. We live in bubbles, isolated by ideology, fear, and pride. Dialogue turned into warfare. Listening became weakness. Virtue became a meme. We're more connected than ever, and more alone than we've ever been. But Stoicism has seen this collapse before. Rome fell. And even in the midst of chaos, there were men who stood tall, not because they controlled the world, but because they controlled themselves. They understood what we forgot. The collapse outside only destroys those who are already broken within. In this video, you'll discover 5 Stoic truths that can save you while everything around you falls apart. Truths that aren't trendy, that won't go viral, but that will keep your soul whole while the world shatters. If you feel yourself becoming cynical, empty, or emotionally numb, stay, because this might be the lost shelter before the impact. When the structure of society collapses, it's not money, fame, or influence that sustains you, it's your character. And that's exactly what the modern world has forgotten. We live in a time where appearance matters more than essence, where reputations are built on likes, not virtues, where even the smallest adversity is treated like a tragedy because no one was trained to endure pain in silence. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to, rather wish that they happen as they do, and your life will flow smoothly." But who still accepts reality as it is? Who has the inner strength to keep walking when everything around them is falling apart? The truth is, hard times don't create chaos, they expose it. And when things begin to fall, you'll see who was shaped by comfort and who was forged by discipline. The Stoic doesn't ignore collapse, he observes. He prepares. But above all, he walks through it with steadiness. Because his foundation lies not in external things, but in virtue, in self-control, in courage. While the world begs you to scream, the Stoic breathes. While everyone looks for someone to blame, he seeks to understand. Because what stays standing when everything falls is what truly matters. We live in a time of constant outrage. Everyone seems angry at the system, at the rich, at the poor, at anyone who thinks differently. But this rage is being weaponized as fuel, as distraction, as spectacle. The system feeds your fury because it blinds you, and a blinded mind is easy to manipulate. Epictetus warned, anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. And today, your masters are everywhere, in headlines, in comment sections, in algorithms. The truth is, while you're shouting, you're not thinking. While you're outraged, you forget yourself. And in that forgetting, your soul begins to corrode, convinced that screaming for justice is the same as living with wisdom. But the Stoic doesn't confuse emotion with virtue. He feels, but he doesn't explode. He sees what's wrong, but doesn't destroy himself to fix it. Because he knows, collective rage is the trap of our time. It unites, but it also imprisons. It energizes, but it also consumes. Harujefis Godel, true strength is not in how loud you scream. It's in how clearly you think, how calmly you act, and how deeply you stay grounded, even when the world burns. Modern life fears silence. It fears stillness. It fears being alone with one's own thoughts. So it creates noise, endless content, constant distraction, artificial connection, all to shield you from a painful truth. You are alone, and you always have been. But to the Stoic, solitude is not punishment, it's preparation. In the absence of applause, the soul is revealed. In the absence of noise, the mind becomes sharp. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, wrote to himself daily, not to impress others, but to confront the man within. Solitude is sacred. It strips away illusions. It exposes your hunger for validation. It makes you face the parts of yourself that crowds let you ignore. That's why most people run from it. Because silence doesn't flatter you. It shows you the truth. He bishambosha kames. But the Stoic doesn't run. He breathes into the stillness. He sharpens his spirit in the quiet. He trains when no one is watching. Amphimashambapha kames. The one who can stand their own presence won't be lost in the crowd. The one who learns to inhabit their mind is already home, even as the world crumbles. While others chase connection, the Stoic reconnects with the eternal, and that reconnection begins not in noise, but in stillness. You live in a world that moves fast, but means nothing. A world that screams for your attention, demands your reaction, and sells your distraction. And in this storm of noise, the first thing to die is your discipline, the very thing that could save you. Without discipline, you're just a puppet, a prisoner of impulse, a servant to the algorithm. You stop acting, you start reacting, you stop choosing, you just drift. The Stoic knows discipline is presence. It's not about controlling the world, it's about not being controlled by it. It's choosing again and again what builds you instead of what breaks you. Seneca warned, life is not short, we just waste it. And in the modern world, the greatest waste is giving your attention to forces that profit from your ignorance. Because every choice you avoid, someone else is already making it for you. Discipline is your final voice, your last defense. It's the quiet power that keeps you rooted when everything else pulls you apart. When the world screams for urgency, you respond with intention. When everything shakes, you hold your ground, because true strength doesn't shout, it endures. When everything is collapsing, most people try to hold on to their image, their pride, their influence, their identity. But the Stoic knows, true strength isn't about holding on, it's about knowing what to release. Discernment is the forgotten virtue. In a world of excess, everyone wants to say something, to do everything, to be everywhere. But here's the truth. You can't carry it all and remain whole. Marcus Aurelius, even at the height of power, reminded himself daily of what to let go. Expectations, vanities, fears. Because even an emperor must shed his illusions to stay free. Miminon mahadalfilwaha. The Stoic lets go of what is already dead inside. He sheds the roles, the noise, the false identities. He chooses not what flatters, but what frees. And maybe that's your greatest protection today. Knowing when to say enough, when to walk away, when to close the door, when to let versions of yourself die, not in despair, but in peace. Because what you refuse to release is what will drown you. While others protect the surface, the Stoic protects his soul. You live in an age of noise, pressure, distraction, and fear. And beneath the surface, millions are collapsing, not visibly, but internally. But you don't have to be one of them. Stoicism won't save the world, but it can save what's still whole inside you. Your clarity, your courage, your peace. Because collapse is not the end, it's a test. And the real question is not, how do I escape it, but who will I become in the middle of it? You can panic, or you can remain steady. You can blame the world, or you can rebuild yourself. You can echo the collapse, or become the quiet presence that rises through it with dignity. If this message stirred something in you, like the video and subscribe now. Someone you know may be falling too, and this might be the anchor they need. Here you won't hear what's trendy, you'll hear what keeps your soul standing, even when the world breaks apart. Virtue remains.